Welcome to episode 15. That's 15 of the Community Convener, the official podcast of the Henry County Chamber of Commerce. My name is Joseph Henning. I'm the president and CEO of the Chamber and just happen to be your host today. This podcast is all about bringing you the people, programs, and progress driving business growth and community connections right here in Henry County. Kicking things off with this packed episode, we talk disaster preparedness with guests from Henry County government. We have a conversation with Leonard on the Golf Classic coming up September 29th. We share can't miss events, highlights, and news to help keep you in the know in Henry County. So grab a coffee and let's dive in. Hello and welcome to this episode's Catalytic Conversation. Today we're tackling a subject that is critically important to every business owner and resident in our community. Disaster preparedness. As we are in the height of hurricane season here in Georgia, the potential for severe weather is not a distant threat. It's a present reality. And it's not just hurricanes. Think about it. So far this year, Henry County alone has seen 4 tornadoes. That's more than the previous 10 years combined. Across Georgia since 1980, we've had 134 weather and climate disasters that each cost over $1 billion in damage. The average for the last 5 years is nearly 10 of those major events per year. In fact, last year's Hurricane Helene caused an estimated $5.5 billion in agricultural losses alone and over $1 million in property damage across the state. And some areas are continuing the rebuilding of their region. The hard truth is that natural disasters can strike with little warning, disrupting operations, threatening safety, and impacting our local economy. And here's a statistic that should get everyone's attention. 25% of small businesses fail to recover after a disaster. Our goal today is to change that narrative. Preparedness is not just protection, it's a competitive advantage. To help us build that advantage, we have 2 esteemed guests from the Henry County government to discuss emergency management practices and resources available to the community. In our next episode, we'll feature a second segment featuring representatives from Piedmont Henry Hospital. So today, join me in welcoming Cheri Matthews, County Manager, and Kevin Johnson, Deputy County Manager. So today, join me in welcoming Cheri Matthews, County Manager, and Kevin Johnson, Deputy County Manager. Cheri, Kevin, welcome.
Thank you, Joe.
Hey, Joe. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Selfishly, Kevin, I'm excited to have you on this episode. Could you give us a little background on your experience and what you bring to the Henry County team?
Yeah, so I started with the Henry County team as a little 18-year-old 911 dispatcher, and that was my first role in a public safety field. After starting there, I moved into the emergency management world where I fell in love. That's focusing on natural disasters, man-made threats, hazard mitigation, being able to touch every discipline of government and ensuring that we're prepared for any type of response necessary. That became my passion. I worked in this field in Henry County as a specialist of emergency management for about 5 years before I was recruited by the state of Georgia. That's Georgia Emergency Management and Homeland Security, known as GEMA. So I spent about 5 years at GEMA. I was over their training and exercise division. I was also the operations section chief and oversaw all of the deployment for our public safety assets. So every large disaster, hurricane, civil unrest, whatever the case is, my responsibility was the deployment of the state agencies regarding public safety. So forestry.
Now, let me just, Kevin, let me just stop you right there because you just glossed over some of the key things. So as that operations, the practitioner and that, share some of those experiences, just the highlights of those that you did, because I think that's essential for people to understand the knowledge and wealth of experience that you bring.
Sure. So I guess one of the most important things is understanding the deployment coordination that has to take place when there's a large-scale disaster. Emergency management is talked about a lot during these large events, but in reality, we lean very heavily on the people that you work with every single day, your local police department, your fire department, your utility crews, those DOT crews. Those are the ones that are responding out and clearing the streets, responding for life safety measures, getting people out of trapped roadway situations. Emergency management in that response phase is coordinating on a mass scale what that looks like. So it's really heavy on logistics. It's making sure the right critical equipment gets to the area that needs it the most. Having to prioritize where internet connection goes, where Georgia Power goes, who gets the power first, who gets the roads cleared first. And there's a process for that, right? It's based off the effect, it's based off the timing. So we always make sure that our hospital access is wide open. We make sure that our fire stations get that de-icing treatment first, and then we focus on those main arteries and then branch out into those subdivision streets. So there's a very critical process to coordinate the logistic response for every disaster that takes place. And that was my role on the state side.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. So let me ask then, we've covered healthcare, we've covered the emergency first responders and that. But from the county's perspective, what's the cornerstone for effective disaster management for our business community? What do you want our businesses to know?
So I can say from an overall government standpoint, your biggest way, your biggest asset in disaster mitigation is the people in our community. Being able to provide the training and the knowledge and preparedness for business owners, for residents, for anyone, that's the key lifeline there. When a large disaster takes place, we have very limited resources locally to respond. We have 16 fire stations. And if we have 16 ambulances that can respond, and then the entire county is out of power, we can't touch everybody. And that's why Preparedness Month is so important, because getting that information out, getting that training out to every citizen in Henry County, that's the biggest way to mitigate any kind of disaster. So for our business owners, it's focusing on that continuity of operations. If you are a critical care provider, how are you maintaining operations when there's no power, no internet? Do you have that continuity piece in place? Do you have a generator? Do you have a contact list? Do you have a way to connect with your critical customers or patients, whatever your services that you're providing? Is there a way to do that? And are you plugged into the local operation enough so that if you have a need or a resource, either for yourself or one that you can provide, you know who to call in Henry County government to offer those resources to someone else? If you're a restaurant owner and you want to make a difference, having that relationship beforehand is the only way you're going to be able to get involved during a disaster. We don't meet people during disasters.
That's right.
So you have to get yourself involved. You have to make sure that everyone's clear on what you can offer, when you can offer it, so that you become an asset to the county and to the community when you're needed the most.
Thank you. And we'll kind of discuss that a little bit more on the steps that the businesses can take in a minute. But Cheri, I know that you all just recently switched over your emergency alerts program, the one for phones. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and where people can find that to sign up to get your alerts?
So I had to lean over because we were previously with a company called Code Red, and now we are with Regroup. And it is a very efficient and effective means of communication when there is an emergency or any type of notification that needs to go out. We advise all of our residents to sign up on our county website, and just there should be a link on the website, but there's also a QR code that you can access. And it also allows you the opportunity to actually put in a geofencing around, or at least put your address in. And so you're not getting notifications every day, all day, but you're able to at least get those notifications that may impact you based on the area in which you are, where you're located. And what it really does is it connects you to matters or incidents or events that are occurring in the county, i.e. weather notifications,
Mhm.
so that you're made aware of it. We also have, and I'll look to Kevin because as you can tell, Kevin is a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, he is.
Over the last couple of days, I know most people probably have received notifications, and they're from the National Weather Service, or at least it says, hey, we've been notified by the National Weather Service. I believe that goes through that same app, or am I wrong on that?
No, you are correct. Our applications are directly connected to the National Weather Service. So it's not something that is triggered by Henry County. It's triggered by the National Weather Service themselves. So as soon as they see a threat and they issue a watch or a warning, it immediately goes countywide. We made that decision here recently after one of our tornado events. Historically, we would only address the notifications to the individuals inside that polygon, in that radius of you're close to this threat that's happening right now. But recently, we've decided to open it up countywide because of the widespread nature of tornadoes and how they can develop, and even the travel piece. We want everyone in Henry County to be aware if there's a weather threat so that they can reach out to their loved ones, they can get to a safe space, they can decide whether or not to leave the house at that time. So anytime there's a weather event triggered by the National Weather Service, it automatically gets pushed out countywide to our residents.
Well, I think one of the strengths of that is just that the timeliness. There's no delay in the Weather Service creating that alert and it getting out to the residents of Henry County, it just immediately goes out and it saves you that step. Is that correct?
Yes and no, because and I'm glad you brought it up, and again, I'm going to defer to Kevin on this because those alerts come from the National Weather Service. And as with any weather event, Kevin, along with our emergency management team, they're watching weather weeks in advance. They're looking at radars, they're looking at all of the reports. And there are instances where, we may look at a cell that we believe has the potential to develop, and then it shifts and so we're like, okay, everything's
Mhm.
okay. And then so sometimes you get that timing may not be, as closely or as quickly as people like for it to happen, but we are very, very dependent on them sending down the alerts. I believe, Kevin, we don't trigger the alerts at all. It literally has to come from the National Weather Service, correct?
Correct, and that's only specific to the weather-related alerts. Now, I'll also add the caveat that they're not on it 100% of the time. There's
Mhm.
things that happen, and then this recent tornado that impacted Locust Grove and completely uprooted a house and threw an individual 300 feet. That tornado warning was not issued until 3 minutes after a 911 call came in because there was a house in the air.
Mm.
So zero warning, zero notification, zero watches. And that's our most dangerous weather season is that tornado season that can impact us and they can just drop down out of nowhere without any warning. We can predict long term our winter weather events, even our hurricane tracks that are coming. We can prepare for those. But it's these summertime, high humidity, high energy storms that can develop quickly and have no warning issued from the National Weather Service the first.
Absolutely. Before we go any further, though, Cheri and Kevin, I want to mention you had said that the app is available on your county website, and that's henrycountyga.gov, correct?
That is correct. henrycountyga.gov.
And I think you had also mentioned too the geofencing and that. And I will tell you, as one who works at different parts of the county, it's kind of nice to have the geofencing because I can get an alert for the office and I can
Mhm.
get an alert for the house, depending on where I'm at and what's happening. And so that's always handy too. So people should really be checking that out. Yeah.
Hey, Kevin and Joe, I think this is another because obviously your listeners are going to be our business community. And in addition to the Regroup app, we also have a group called LEPC, which is our local emergency planning committee.
That's right. Our LEPC, Local Emergency Planning Committee, is critical, and it's been around in Henry County for a very long time. And that is a committee that comes together and discusses the impact to businesses. They meet every other month with all of our public safety leaders. So the fire department, police department, the municipalities come together with the business owners and discuss current impacts on the business, how the county can assist. We assist with training. We can do site visits and work with them on preparedness efforts. And we welcome everyone to join that. That information is also on the county website, or you can call our emergency management agency directly. And I'll plug their phone number in. It's 770-288-7500. That's the Henry County Emergency Management's main line, and they can get you connected to our LEPC. I do want to very quickly highly recommend you also follow the Henry County Government Facebook page and the Henry County Emergency Management page. That's where you're going to see live updates as that weather threat continues, but also major road closures, any kind of gas leaks, any kind of critical missing. All of these notification types are pushed out via that notification app. But if you want to be able to see up-to-date information during large events, we keep a running live list of calls on that social media platform as well.
That's wonderful. We'll definitely add that to the show notes so people have those links available to them as well. I think we had touched on this a little bit earlier, and as it is Preparedness Month, I'm excited to highlight the services in that you all have with the county. But let's shift gears a little bit and talk preparedness if we can. What are some of the things that business people and residents of Henry County need to be aware of as they're preparing for disasters? Let's start with phone numbers that they're going to need. What would that look like?
Go for it. You're the weather guy.
I try not to be the weather guy nowadays.
So you want me to be honest, because we're talking to the audience. My preparedness is the guy sitting next to me. I'm like, hey, tell me what
Yeah.
the weather like, and he tells me, make sure you have your phone charged, make sure you have water, make sure you have flashlights, like the basic things, but also have a weather radio. Like people, when there is an emergency or when this weather is getting bad, dialing 911 saying, hey, I have an emergency. We understand that. We know that there's an emergency out there. But that was my pitfall coming into like not being weather ready. And so I called Kevin Johnson.
Kevin, to that point, from a business standpoint, what are some of the numbers that they need to have available that they need to have at their ready if they're not making it to the office that day?
Sure. So if I'm a business owner, there's both the internal and external piece. You need to have alternate communication methods for all of your staff, and we don't want to stop at just their cell phone number. We need to have a site communication point, and this is both true for residents and at your home. You have to have a communication plan in place. So if I can't reach you because cell phone towers are down where you live, who can I call that is going to be able to make sure you're okay, you're alive, and give you an update from the office, right? But we all know as business owners, as residents, the people we work with every day, they're family. And in these times of disaster, we care about them. We want to make contact with them. So coming up with a plan to communicate in general is key, having those alternate contact numbers. It's also super important to make sure that you have those critical phone numbers for the utilities ready to go. So when we're activating that emergency operations center, we're communicating directly with those utility providers, those Georgia Powers, Georgia EMC, Snapping Shoals on the power side, but also the water authority folks. You need to be able to monitor if your power is on and off. And pro tip, I do that through security cameras. If you can connect to your cameras or connect to anything at your place of business, that means the power is on. If you can't, the power is off. Being able to notify your provider that power is out allows us to add that to our priority list and then be able to show that there is an outage in the area, find root cause and address it. Because it's one thing when we have a house that is without power. It's another thing if we have a critical resource provider, a business, that if we get that power back on, that provides that open resource, even if it's just a safe place to go to the community. So we can move that up on the priority list and get teams there to address it. Obviously, 911 is always going to be the number to call when there's a real emergency and you need someone to respond to you directly. But if you focus on those utility pieces, making sure that you're reporting any outages that you can confirm, that's going to expedite the process of us prioritizing the response to get you back up and running.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think one last point, because I do appreciate this conversation and I know we could go on, but 5 years ago, we kind of did a remote work strategy on the fly with COVID. What would be your recommendation to those that think, okay, well, I've got, we did this 5 years ago, it's fine. What changes do you think that they might need to see from 5 years ago?
I don't think there's changes. I think it's just more of an enhanced, effort towards making sure, similar to what Kevin mentioned, having the safety action plan in place, making sure that you have all your documents in place, double, triple checking, having secondary locations. But I think it's going to be the same. But when COVID hit, a lot of us were already doing things that we didn't know we were doing. Like we already had work from home, because we had the flex time. And we figured out how to maneuver around it. But I think it's just being prepared and being able to communicate what that plan is to your loved ones and being able to know, hey, if something were to happen, here, you don't think about if something happens, where's our meeting location? And as I'm talking through this, I'm like, hey, have I had that conversation with my family? Like, if I'm at work, tornado hits, does my children know where to contact me? Where to find me? Where is that safe space? So I think having those internal family conversations and letting them know, hey, if something were to happen, hey, this is where we need to be or this is where we're going to meet up.
So, and I would say from a business aspect, you have an opportunity as a leader in business every week. You can cut a break to staff and say, hey, if you're able to, let's have a meeting remotely. Let's have a slow Friday morning. Let's all jump on 8:30, 9 o'clock huddle via Teams, via Zoom, whatever that is, and allow those to just jump on their way into the office. You have a delayed start in person that looks as if it's a benefit to staff, right? I would be appreciative if the boss said, hey, we can just do this remotely this morning every week and come on in afterwards. But it also creates that continuity of operations. So their computers are up to date. They're familiar with the system. They know how to pivot when they need to so they can function remotely and still do their job and provide a service when necessary. I think that piece is critical. And just the succession planning in place, we know that if something happens and the county manager is unable to make it to the office or provide her job duties, then I'm going to be there to make sure things get done. And if something happens to me, next man up. There needs to be a clear line of succession within that business so that nobody's stagnant. Nobody's looking for somebody to give them directive. They should already know who that person is, what their responsibility is going to be, and having that done ahead of time is going to clear up a lot of confusion when you have to make those emergency decisions.
Those are all wonderful, great points. And Cheri, to your comments about having done this before, if we look back at that, the reason it was, I don't want to say easy, but the reason that we were able to hit that so quickly was because so many of us were prepared with backed up policies. We had secondary files, whether it's at our bank or at our house or whatever, but we had these pieces in the cloud and elsewhere. And Kevin, to your point, doing that regularly updating of those softwares that we have on our computer and that make sure that we're prepared enough to download what we need to download when we're off site. And so the fact that you're not suddenly in an emergency stressed out and now you can't log in and get any information creates even more stress. And so these all they're part of a safety effort, but they're also part of a mental health, behavioral health assuredness piece too, because we're trying to mitigate as much stress as we can in this experience. And so these are all ways that the businesses and the residents of Henry County can, rest a little easier, I guess, in knowing that they're prepared and that they have pieces in place.
To your point, it's important as we think about, 5 years ago and think about the current, a lot of the ability to be prepared, to know what to do, was because of the partnership between our Fab Five. And a lot of people know about the Fab Five, but when we talk about the relationship between Henry County government, the chamber, our hospital, our school system, and our development authority, that relationship morphed out of us coming together saying, look, you handle the businesses, you handle the hospital, you handle the county government, the superintendent handles the children who work in all of our agencies. And so being able to have those relationships is what really helped us to make sure that businesses, non-businesses, and our residents were all prepared for that. And so I think that helped. And I don't know a lot of jurisdictions that have or had that kind of relationship where we could call and say, hey, Joe, I know that you have a business owner that's been impacted by this. It's going to impact this business owner because they have children in the school. And guess what? They also have a spouse that works for the county. And now we need to do X, Y, and Z. And so I think that, Kevin talked a lot about the collaboration communication piece, but I also think that is a very critical piece of why we have been so successful in being able to have these type of conversations because of the relationships that we
Absolutely.
have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I remember those conversations that, with at the time it was Dr. Davis and she's talking about schools are closing. And so we realized that we have employees that are working that now we don't have daycare, they don't have anywhere for the kids to go. And how does that affect the businesses that can come back online, but they don't have the employees? And I remember that was the five of us sitting down and really looking at how do we solve some of these problems. And it was a great trust and team building experience that, I think just came out of this forged from the fire, I guess.
Yep.
And I'm fortunate and grateful to all of you that we've kept that alive in the 5 years, that we haven't gone the way of now I'll do my own thing and ignore what everybody else needs, and that we keep the county first and foremost in front of us, the residents and the businesses. And I think it's a huge testament to the county. Absolutely. This has been just a great masterclass in preparedness. And Kevin, you did not cover being involved with Super Bowl 53. So I'm going to direct everybody again to the county's website. If you want to know more about Kevin's background, you're going to be amazed at what we have available to us in Henry County. And I thank you both for that. Before we go, I want to give each of you a chance to share anything that you want. One final thought with our listeners. Cheri, you have one final thought you want to share, leave them with?
Look, my final thought is to always just be weather ready. making sure that all the things that we've gone over in terms of being prepared, making sure that you have documents in place, making sure that the businesses know that there are resources that are available. But also, if there's ever any questions, reach out to the county. We have a very active emergency management team that stands ready to assist any of our businesses, and it is truly a partnership. And I am most grateful that the chamber, our Henry County Chamber, our award-winning Henry County Chamber, has taken on, making sure that you're exposing the businesses to all things county and all things in terms of services. So thank you for your diligence in that.
I appreciate you joining me on some of these conversations. So thank you. Kevin, any last thoughts?
Yeah, so thank you again, Joe. This is I'm just going to echo everything the boss said, and then I think that the cornerstone of all of this discussion lies on relationships. So I would ask that everyone listening plug themselves in to the resources in Henry County. Get involved. Go and meet the people that are going to be responding. Go and meet who your community partners are. Build that relationship. And there's so many resources, not just LEPC, but we offer training. We have a citizens emergency response team, and we will go out to your business and train your entire staff. Just a class, especially for them, on preparedness, on mitigation, on hazard identification and threat analysis, on everything specific to your individual needs. We also have critical infrastructure specialists that can come out and do a site survey of your facility. And they do this. They go to businesses and they'll tell them, these are your weak points. This is where you're doing great. This is where we need to work on. And they'll give you a roadmap of how to improve the security of your facility and mitigate other threats. There's so many ways to get involved. So please reach out, let us know, talk to the chamber. They can connect to you guys as well. But we'd love to have you. We'd love to build a relationship. We'd love to get you plugged in so that we can have this relationship established before the bad things happen.
And hey, Joe, on
Wow.
October 30th, the county is hosting its annual trunk or treat, and we will have all of our Henry County teams out. I think the chamber typically participates in that event with us. So that is a perfect opportunity
Yeah.
to meet our team and understand better some of the services that the county offers.
I love that. Thanks, Cheri, because that's an informal opportunity, less stress,
Yes.
and that people can get to know our county resources. So thank you very much. Thank you both for sharing your time and your invaluable expertise. And to our listeners, the message is clear. Don't wait. Share this information with your team and your family. For more detailed resources, including checklists, visit the Chamber's website at henrycounty.com. Stay safe and be prepared, and we'll be right back after this message. This episode's elite member highlight is Chairman Circle member Snapping Shoals EMC. Snapping Shoals EMC has been serving the area for more than 80 years, and during that time has built a strong reputation for providing reliable power and excellent customer service. Their roots go back to the 1930s and the early days of America's rural electrification. In those days, just trying to bring power to rural areas was a major undertaking. Today, Snapping Shoals serves some of the fastest growing areas in our nation, and most of their once rural service territory is now part of Metro Atlanta. The co-op currently provides electricity to approximately 100,000 homes, businesses, and other facilities in an 8-county area that includes large portions of Newton, Henry, and Rockdale counties, as well as parts of DeKalb, Butts, Walton, Jasper, and Morgan counties. Thank you, Snapping Shoals EMC, for your continued support of and commitment to the Chamber and its economic and community development initiatives.
Ever wonder how your business could be featured right here on the podcast? It's easier than you think. We're offering podcast sponsorships that include shout-outs like this one, a spotlight in our episode description, and the option to record your own or let us read it for you. Want even more visibility? Bundle your podcast with a feature in our Chamber e-newsletter for double your impact. Sponsorships are limited. Email Trinity at tarcher@henrycounty.com to learn more.
Power Moves, Mastering Value, Leverage, and Contract Negotiation is set for Thursday, September 25th at 9 a.m. Cornelius Gamble of EQ Growth Lab returns for a small business services and emerging business leaders collaboration. Shift from being negotiated with to being the one who sets the terms. This interactive workshop will equip you with the confidence, strategies, and tools to negotiate like a pro. Walk away with your own negotiation readiness toolkit and a clearer sense of your value. After learning how to set your own terms, join us at Ameris Bank on Route 20 for an extraordinary business after hours on September 5th at 5:30. Don't miss the jackpot drawing. Door prizes are welcome. The Chamber of Commerce and Snapping Shoals EMC present the 25th Annual Golf Classic on September 29th at Heron Bay Golf Club. This year's classic is more than golf. It's a celebration of community, connection, and friendly competition. Come swing, socialize, and support the Chamber's ongoing economic impact in Henry County. Bridge Henry Chamber Connect returns to the Business Resource Center on October 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Stay as long as you like, leave with the answers that matter. Each month, Bridge and the Henry County Chamber bring top-tier business experts directly to you. No panels, no long workshops, just real conversations with professionals who can help move your business forward. To register and see more chamber and community events, visit our website at henrycounty.com/events/calendar. Well, welcome back to this episode's Connecting Point segment, and we're excited to welcome Leonard Robinson back to the studio. Leonard, welcome back.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I know you've got some great program coming up, this 25th anniversary of the Golf Classics. Tell us a little bit about that, date, time, sponsors, anything like that you want to tell us.
All right. Well, starting off with, we're going to have Snapping Shoals returning as a presenting sponsor for the 25th Annual Golf Classic. And this year, we've got a theme of more than golf. So we want to make sure that we give the significant others, the people that love the golfers, a reason to come out to the course and participate as well. So the golfers will do their normal thing all day long, but we're going to have Park and Relax, a member come out and bring some chiropractic services and their massage chair. Da Vinci's Pizza, a member of ours off of 155, they're going to be bringing their trivia on the course. So around 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the inside, we're going to have some adult trivia. Don't bring the children. And we're going to have a little adult trivia inside. They're going to be giving away some Da Vinci bucks. This is a process they run over at the location on a regular basis. And as a member, we're bringing them in to be supportive of that. If any of the members want to get their clubs regripped before they go out that day, they're going to have an opportunity to do that. One of our stalwarts or staples of an event like this is Sticks and Stogies Mobile Cigar Lounge. They'll be there with the trailer and the truck so you can have a nice smoke if that's your pleasure.
It sounds like you've done some great planning.
We're working on it.
Stuff in the works, and I love the fact that it's not just for golfers.
Absolutely, the whole idea here is for us to be able to make this an event that the golfer, the significant other, can participate in, and a new member that just joined on, and they've got some indoor golf range stuff going. Back Nine, they're going to be the bag sponsor for this year, so everybody's going to walk away with a nice Back Nine bag and probably some Back Nine swag.
Back Nine swag in his Back Nine bag.
Absolutely.
Wow. Did you take a long time to come up with that one?
Yes, I've been working.
That's why we haven't been able to get you into the studio, because you had to get that down.
I was working on them bars.
So tell me, I don't think we covered the date and location.
So we're going to be at Heron Bay Golf Club again. This is going to be September 29th. It's an all-day event. Golfers will be getting there as early as 8 in the morning with a shotgun start at 10. Trivia is going to start at around 1 o'clock. And shortly after 10 o'clock, we'll have the massage chair there, so that if you need to, you can get loosened up before you go out to the course.
Now, and that is a shotgun scramble.
Yes, it is. Okay. Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, Chris Wood of Snapping Shoals is actually going to launch the tournament. I don't know if that's supposed to be the Grand Master or the Grand Launcher. We're going to have to create him a specific name. The Grand Poobah. Mm-hmm. Chris.
He's going to love that.
Yeah, he's going to love that. I can't wait for him to hear this.
Oh, man. I hope he doesn't listen to this. Now, you mentioned that a special thanks to Chris and Snapping Shoals for returning this year as presenting sponsor. What other event sponsors do you have?
We've got event sponsors, whether it's SDK's Coffee and Cafe over on Jodico Road. They provided coffee last year, and they're going to be back again this year. And we mentioned Park and Relax, our members. I think we covered Sticks and Stogies. These are going to be there. Yeah, I think those are the sponsors currently so far that we kind of have out there.
Now, I believe you have, is it Whaley Hammonds?
Yes, Whaley Hammonds. Sometimes you don't think about the people that are always there for you, and I'm glad you remembered that. Whaley Hammonds is the golf actual scorecard sponsor. They've been doing that for us for a few years now.
For almost 25 years, I would think.
Yeah. Okay, so You just kind of just fit them right on into everything that you're doing.
Yep, we
Absolutely.
appreciate that. We appreciate that. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we've covered. I don't want to forget any of the activities that you had. You had Sticks and Stogies. You've got the massage. You've got the regrip. You've got the trivia. There will be lunch.
We're going to have lunch. Lunch is going to be provided by Honey Baked Ham. And City Barbecue is coming in for the second year in a row to cover dinner.
Nice, nice. Well, great day. And if you're not a golfer, you've got the opportunity to play trivia. I'm looking at Trinity right now because I tease her constantly about trivia.
I'm sure she's looking forward to trivia.
One last thing, Leonard.
Yes.
What do I win when I have the best score?
We've got a cash prize for first place, and we are working with bringing on a new sponsor for our first place prize, and then we're going to have a first, second, and third place cash prize as well.
Wonderful. So if anybody is interested in signing up for golf and more, September 29th at Heron Bay, what can they do? Where can they go?
You can definitely go to our page at henrycounty.com. You can look under the events and you can actually sign up there. We've got links and QR codes all around the city. Reach out to me here at the Chamber of Commerce. We are adding individual members and finding teams to put them on, and we're definitely still looking for teams. And we still have some, I want to say I have 3 or 4 tent sponsorships that are available as well.
Okay, so there's still some limited availability.
Still some limited availability for whole signs and for some tent sponsors as well. And if you're looking to actually come in at maybe a gold or a silver sponsorships, I got a little room for you on that as well.
Wonderful. All right. And I think you mentioned that individual registrations are available as well. So if I want to golf and I don't have somebody for a foursome, I can sign up. You'll help me find 3 others?
You know what? I'm really glad you brought that up. This is what I've been doing. If you're interested, reach out to me. Get in touch with me. Send me an email, lrobinson@henrycounty.com. Reach out to us directly. You can give us a call here at the Chamber. I'm listing those people, and before I have them pay, I'm making sure that I've got an actual team to list them on. But we are collecting names for people that are playing individually. And I think I've got a couple of teams already where I can use people. So if you're interested in playing and it's just you, don't hesitate. Reach out.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Question for you. I know you've recently taken up golf. Is there like a beat Leonard hole out there where they can drive further than you? They win?
You know what? I really don't think they're ready for that challenge just yet, Joe. We don't have
a little more practice, and it won't be the 25th anniversary. We'll have to look down the road.
Yeah, so far at this point, I've been out a couple of times, and I don't think there's anyone on the senior PGA that needs to be concerned just yet.
Practice makes perfect.
Perfect practice makes perfect.
Leonard, thank you so much. Thank you to Snapping Shoals and all of our sponsors for the 25th anniversary Golf Classic. Again, more than just golf. So if you want to come out and have lunch, play some trivia, just walk around on the greens, you can join us out there on September 29th at Heron Bay. And we'll be right back. And welcome back to this episode's Member Minute, where we highlight exciting news, milestones, and upcoming ribbon cuttings across our Chamber community. Mark your calendars to celebrate with us at these upcoming ribbon cuttings: September 16th at 11 a.m. for the Sweet Spot Baking Company, September 17th at 11 a.m. for Strategic Print Lab, on September 19th at 11 for Community Company, on September 23rd at 10 a.m. for Kaufman's Furniture Gallery, on September 25th at noon for Willoway Preschool at McDonough, and on October 3rd at noon for Aligned Chiropractic and Wellness. If you're interested in hearing more about our members, check out our member news section on our website.
You've heard about our podcast sponsorships, so why not make it your moment? We'll record your ad, give your business a shout out, and even offer a bundle with our e-newsletter to expand your reach. It's simple, affordable, and built to highlight what makes you stand out. Reach out to Trinity at tarcher@henrycounty.com to get started.
If you're interested in discussing membership benefits or sponsorship opportunities, please contact our team at 770-957-5786 or visit henrycounty.com. Join us next week for more member and community news and a follow-up to our disaster preparedness discussion with Piedmont Henry representatives. If you have an item for us to share or highlight on Community Convener, there is a link to contact us on the podcast site of your choice. We want to hear from you. Until next time, stay connected, stay inspired, and keep growing with us at the Henry County Chamber.